Debbie Cullen-Ain. How are you?
Actually, I'm good. I was just wondering, what's your middle name? Do you have a middle name?
Jane.
Hayley Jane.
Helena Jane.
You're blessed with that lovely name.
It's a bit House of the Prairie or something.
No, I like it.
It's my granny's name, so that's okay. My nanny, should I say.
Oh, lovely.
She was Jane. Gwendolyn. Jane. So I
Got that from her.
I like it.
Yeah, you got
What?
blessed with a nice name.
Oh, well, what's yours? I forget.
Deborah Dolores.
Deborah.
Debbie Dolly.
Debbie Dolly.
I know.
But that's your mum's name, isn't
Yeah,
it? So
it is. So it's
Dolores,
all good.
Debbie Double D.
Yes, double D's over here. And before we dive in, actually, funny story, now that I think of it, do you know what my confirmation name is?
I do. I feel like you told me this. I
Yeah.
can't remember now.
It's Ronan.
What? I'm
Because-
sorry. What?
Because I was obsessed with Ronan Keating. Literally.
Are you for
And I took
real?
Ronan Michelle, my sister's
Excuse
name,
me.
and the man who
This
I,
is getting weirder
the
and
man,
weirder.
the man who was obviously going to fall deeply in love with me because I took his name for my
Oh my
confirmation.
god! I didn't even know.
Yeah.
You could do that.
Yeah, why do people let me? I don't know. And I was adamant. I was like, I am taking it. He is
After-
my true love.
Like after himself.
I know.
And a second, like, so 2 confirmation names.
Yeah,
That's,
so
that's illegal.
Deborah Dolores, Ronan Michelle.
Wow.
So that's a funny little intro for you guys before we dive into
My
this
confirmation name
episode.
feels very boring after that now.
What is it?
Elizabeth.
Elizabeth's
After
a
my
lovely
other-
name.
After my other granny.
You're very kind. I was
Very
just
nice.
going for my boy's-own love.
Wow.
Anyway,
We need to tell Ronan Keaton this. We need to
we
write
do.
him.
We'll tag him. He probably
Oh,
listens.
tag me.
I'd
Yeah,
say
no,
he
I'd say he does,
listens.
yeah.
Yeah, I think he does.
Avid listener, yeah. Okay.
So in today's
Anyways.
episode, we are looking at, is it just us, or does parenting really, or becoming a parent, affect your relationship with your partner? And this is something we do feel, again, that isn't really talked about.
No.
And I would like to just state here that I'm not here to man bash. And this
Okay.
isn't what I'm feeling on it. I'm just saying
No.
we want to just talk about those shifts in
In
relationship.
the dynamic.
Yeah,
or
that
in-
do happen.
Yeah. And that they can come out of nowhere. Or I suppose, like, when you're preparing to have the baby, or, well, I certainly wasn't thinking about, God, we're really going to drift apart. It's going to become difficult. Or, like, that's not on your radar. We're going to be so happy. You're going to play, or I'm going to do this, and you're going to be the best dad. And it's so,
Yeah.
it can hit you kind of like out of left field. It can come at you a bit when you haven't thought about it.
Totally, because
Mm.
whilst the pregnancy is for the woman, it's also, if you are with a partner, it's very much a togetherness, and you're excited together, and you're able to tell them the weeks you're pregnant and all of
Yeah,
those
and the
things,
little
and
fruits
you're
and-
just not sure. Yeah,
Yeah, it's
What
all
is it
lovely.
today? It's
like.
a grape. We're at grape stage, and then you
And
get
there's
to
great
avocado.
dreaming that
Yeah.
happens, and your imagined life together, and it's all sweetness and roses. And maybe you think, gosh, it might be hard at times, but that's as far as my mind went. And also, like, I think there was a bit of, like, I mentioned, I think before, maybe that, like, I had my first baby at 39, so it was long awaited. So there was that element to it of, like, well, like, it's our dream. So how would you be anything else other than delighted?
Yeah.
And anything that goes with it, look, it's part of it. We'll just be so grateful. But no, there's other things that happen between you, I think, when the little one appears.
Absolutely, and it just comes into every element of your relationship, from the daily tasks that you have, to us changing in our bodies, into your sexual relationship, like all the different parts, and it can be really hard. And I think that part can be hard for the dads as well, because we change and we shift, and they're no longer our priority, or we're no longer each other's.
Yes, there's a big dynamic change there where baby is the most important person.
Which it should be, but it's hard to navigate.
Yeah, it's hard to know what this is, or, like, I think sometimes if you feel a disconnection coming, you can start maybe, like, fighting or like drifting away versus going, hey, I feel a disconnection. Like, this is weird. Like, I miss us or something, you know? So, but it's often that, like, when you're disconnected, it can turn into picking or this and that. And all those dynamics change, don't they?
Yeah. And then it's coming with the tiredness and then trying to meet all the needs of the baby and of yourself and of them. And maybe you're at home and maybe they're going out to work. And it's just so much.
Yeah. And I think what hit me was I had no clue that I wouldn't get to properly chat or spend time or like, I don't know what I thought. I really feel a bit naive looking back, but I did think we'd still have our time. And at the start, you really don't. Like, you know, you just don't. And then I think as the baby gets a little bit bigger, it might be even less because they're vocal or, you know, we're passing ships in the night because we don't have the village really. So we're tagging in and out of mind. And so there's so little time for us that it's like, whoa, that is a big change. I didn't,
you didn't really foresee.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I saw something recently. Somebody was saying, when you move into the toddler stage, or if you have more than one child, your relationship now becomes like your two business partners, and the CEO of the company is this little 2-year-old.
Yeah.
And that's actually what your relationship is now. Every single thing you do, this little person is really controlling, because you're navigating naps and life and everything else that goes with it. And when you're in the trenches of the baby and the toddler, I really found that was the hardest time.
They're so full on, like
and it's just they need you so much. Like you have to be there, and you have to tag team each other out. There's no respite for anybody really, because you're keeping these little humans alive essentially. And then as they do grow, you come into a different stage of parenting, even the one we're at now. It's so different.
Oh.
And like in the last few years, and definitely in the last while, you just feel like, oh, there you are. Yeah, we're back again. It's not to say that the challenges don't go away, but I think communication is key. And I am bad at that. And I will put my hand up and say, like, I am a martyr. I stew and I dwell. And I'm like, why didn't he do that?
Yeah.
But I haven't asked him to.
Okay.
But I have this expectation of
he reads your mind.
He should have. He cannot read your mind. They cannot read our minds.
No.
And when we sit there stewing and we don't ask for it, I just think we become our own worst enemy, because then everything is like a battle against each other. And everything is like, well, he didn't do this and he didn't do this and he didn't do this.
Yeah.
And I remember recently at the Mum Talks, when you spoke and you had said about your therapist saying, you know, well, what does he do? No, and I'm not even saying that in a mean way. But sometimes we have to go, actually, they do quite an amount of things that I don't do. But all I'm thinking about is all the things that I do.
Yes. So then the relationship had gone from like, oh, we're so excited for this baby, how romantic, how gorgeous, and we're building up to this event. And then it's all of a sudden, you didn't do this, and I got an error yesterday, but you're not as sleep deprived as me, or why do I always have, like, so you've just gone this huge big shift, you know, and it like you're almost competitive with each other on it. Or, you know, not acknowledging each other. And then, like you said there, the business partner thing, because all you talk about is, did you pick up nappies? Did you get this? Oh, is it the bins? Don't ask me. You're supposed to be in charge of the bins. Like, it's an exchange. It's not an interaction or a connective conversation. So you kind of lose your combos, and then you're, you know, passing ships. So, I mean, geez, that's a lot.
Yeah, there is a lot. And then I think when you said the competition thing there, as they grow older as well, and I think you'll find this, Hales, as he gets bigger, it nearly becomes an exchange of time off as well. So it's like, well, he went golfing, so I'm going.
Oh, you know, we're already there with that.
Yeah.
John surfs, so he goes off.
Yeah, and then, but when the time comes, you'll be like, well, it's my turn now. And we have been very conscious, and this is something that we actually do communicate an awful lot, is this element of, I am not your parent.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, alleluia. That.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I am not your parent and you are not mine. So like,
Your parent and your children, that's enough.
yes.
You don't parent
And
your
like,
partner.
it's not this permission slip to go places. And maybe that is the case for some people, but we've just decided in our relationship that that's not how it works. If I want to do something, I don't have to ask him, essentially. I do need to check in and make sure that everything
Or
is
organise
okay
it.
and organise it and all of that. And the same with him. But it's not a tit for tat.
Yeah.
It's not like he did this, so I did this. Like some weeks he'll have more time off to do things because of the weather or because of whatever has happened. And then other times I probably am a person that saves up a good bit of my time, and then I'll head off for a night with my friend. And that will be what's going to fill me up much more than doing different things throughout the week where, you know, he might be like in training or going golfing or these kind of things, which is good as well. I saw a really good thing recently from Brené Brown.
Oh, I love her.
Yeah, and we haven't incorporated this in yet, but I think when you can bring back a bit of fun and playfulness into your relationship, then that's really important, and so that we can feel like we're communicating in a way that feels a bit fun as well. So she was saying that, so in your parenting relationship, between the two of you, you need to try and hit 100.
Okay.
So if your partner comes home and you are really tired or you're wrecked and you're like, I'm at a 20.
Okay.
So at that point, they need to be at an 80 to make up the 100. If they're not at the 80, so if you're like, I'm at a 20, help, help, then they need to, if they're not at an 80, then a conversation needs to happen about how we're going to get back to the 100.
Okay. Collectively,
so,
like,
yes.
Okay.
So who needs, like, if he's only at a 50 and you're at a 20, you've only made a 70. So you need to be like, okay, who needs to take a break or who needs to do something to build up those levels a little bit so that we can come back together again and try to make the 100. And even when you're putting numbers on it and a bit of fun like that, I think it's better than sitting there going, I can't handle this and he's not doing anything for me, but he doesn't really know how you feel. And the same the other way around.
100%. But like, I love just putting, I love the idea of saying I'm at a 20 as a way of communicating versus going, oh, I've had the worst day, or I'm really tired or something. It's like, I'm at a 20, I'm telling you where I'm at. But the other part of me there is a bit like, well, yeah, I could be at a 20 and John could also be at a 30 or 20 even. There's not always a way to fix it though. There's not, like, we often have that where I know, like, I just need to go for a 10-minute walk, but it's not going to happen. Like, it's not always, it's hard to get, I think getting to 100 is probably pie in the sky at the moment for us. At the moment,
yeah.
But hopefully, like, you know, and I could aim for it, and I like the numbers thing. I think, I do think whatever way to communicate that's easiest and isn't about giving out or like, I'm at a 20 because last night you didn't this, or when you went off this morning you forgot, you know. It's just saying, look, I'm at a 20, and have compassion then for each other, going, okay, like, what do you need here?
It's the compassion.
How does the evening look? Because I'm thinking evenings for us are like, God, it's hard to get anything in.
The evening is the hardest time with the baby or children, I think. The mornings.
The mornings and evenings,
then the evenings, especially with
and
the
days.
babies.
The whole thing.
And the whole thing.
And
the
then through the
hours.
night. No, but like, I do think the number thing, and I think you mentioned there being playful, that is our saviour. Like, our foundation of our relationship is messing and laughing, you know, and probably the same for a lot of people.
Yeah.
So when we get back to that and we can make each other laugh and do something really silly or whatever, that resets us.
Totally.
And so I think for me, when in the early days I was really, really sleep deprived or like stressed or overwhelmed, or I'm preoccupied with the mental load that's going on and on, I wasn't tapping into that at all. But I think now I can kind of tap into that, or I kind of know something silly, lighten it up. Even if we're getting a bit annoyed with each other, can kind of just laugh or something. And it just takes the heat out of it, and it brings you back to like, there we are, you know, that like, it's like there's me, there's John, and then there's this third thing that's our relationship. Almost like it's a separate entity. And how's that doing?
Totally.
You
And
know?
when I was going to therapy a few years ago, this always stuck with me. So my therapist was like, "What's more important to you, your relationship with your children, or your relationship with your husband?" And it was a really big question.
Yes.
But what she was coming around to really was that we need to nurture the relationship with your partner,
Yeah.
because time will pass, and
Yes.
time will pass and the children will move on. And actually, even at our stage, our children don't need us as much anymore.
So you're going to have that bit of time back.
So we have that time back. And well, luckily enough, we have nurtured our relationship enough to want to still spend the time together,
Yeah.
and to not be really bitter. And that's not the same for everybody, just talking from personal experience. But like, this 10 years of being a mother has gone so fast. And I'm like, if this next 10 goes that fast, she will be 20.
Oh my God.
And she will be gone from the home, and so will he.
Yeah.
Like, if that's the route they choose.
Yeah.
Or they will be definitely entering into adulthood, and they won't need us as much.
They'll be barely around either ways.
At that point, we need to still be together. We want to be. Like, in every relationship is work. Like, it's a challenge. You have to really work on it every single day to make sure that you're communicating properly.
Yes.
But we focus so much on the relationship with the children.
Kids, yeah. But it is, and it's like, what's the most important thing is the parents' relationship, because without that, it filters down to the kids, doesn't it? And it's kind of the central piece to be worked on, really, because it impacts the whole family.
It does.
Long term.
Yeah, I read something before, and this is fairly profound now, so I didn't say this, but it was something I read, that, your children will be as happy as your relationship is.
Wow.
And that's big now, and I don't mean to put any pressure on anybody, but like, it's a really important element of our parenting journey, is nurturing that relationship that we have, because
But they pick up on the tensions and how we even speak to each other and stuff.
yes, the tone,
how the tensions, all of that. We know that's true biology wise. Like, but one of the things there, like, I just popped into my head that my therapist actually said was, when there's John, there's the relationship. What color is it? How does it look? If you were to draw it as a picture, like, if it was a person, would it be taller? Has it shrunk down? Like, if it's a battery, what level is it at? Like, visualize it, and then be like, oh God, it needs some plugging in or energy given or something. And even if that is just a conversation where we're not like passing by each other, or it's not about who has to buy the nappies or who put out the bin, we're just like, okay, let's have a quick chat about absolute nothing. How was your day? Like, that's going to give it a little bit of a boost and boost that battery up again. And I thought, I'm just such a visual person. I really like thinking of it that way, but I totally forgot about it and haven't been doing that.
And
there you go.
At the start as well, it's really hard. And when you're in the trenches, it is really hard. But it's just, again, bringing this awareness to it, and maybe trying some strategies if you are feeling like this is really tricky at the moment, and we're just not getting on in a way that I would like to.
Yeah, because I think what's so hard for me anyway was like, okay, there's all this changes, like my life's been upended, the baby, like, whoa, what is this? Everything is different, relationship with my friends, my body, like everything. And now that one solid thing with my best friend is different too. Oh no. And that makes you kind of panic. And I think most of the fights and stuff that we have with people are coming from a place of fear. And that fear of abandonment, even when you've just given birth. Or like, oh, are you not connected with me? Like, why? I think it can really be triggering to not be on track with your partner, especially in the early days. So yeah, I've found that particularly hard.
And your relationship, no more than you, is surviving, not thriving at those times, I think.
Exactly, yeah.
And
just
that's
kind of
okay.
knowing that, and just being aware that I didn't see it, like I said about 10 times, I didn't see it coming.
I know, but it is surviving, not thriving, and it's
yeah.
getting through those really hard times. And another thing that we've incorporated lately, and this is something that came from my dad's pals, they would have a thing in their house where they have like blue jobs and pink jobs. And
Okay.
this sounds daft now, but it's even bringing an awareness to yourself of how much your partner actually does do. So I would always be nearly like, I'm always cooking the dinner. Like, I'm so sick of cooking the dinner. Um, but then I think of all of the other things that James does that I don't do. So I was telling him about this anyway. So, but it's brought a lot of lightness to it. So I was saying to him recently, like the lunches, for example, I was like, "Did you make the lunch?" While I was gone working or whatever, and he was like, "Oh no, pink job." I was
Pink
like,
job.
"Fair
Okay.
enough, fair enough, fair enough. I get that." And he's like, "Did you take out the bins?" And I'm like, "Oh, blue job, blue job." Did you feed the dog? Blue job. Now it doesn't have to be pink or blue; it could be purple or green or whatever colors you like. And it's not necessarily that they're in inverted commas the typical woman's job or the
Yeah, because
typical
that's what's getting me there.
male job. And people always, I hear gasps when I say to, like at mum talks or when I'm doing talks to people that James does the laundry.
Yeah, John
And
does too.
yeah, and
Obsessed with
other
it.
people are like,
Wow, you're so lucky.
you're so lucky. And I'm like, well, I am. And it, like, I'm very lucky in the partner that I have. He's brilliant. But I don't think I'm lucky that he does
his
the
fair share of
laundry
stuff.
or he
Yeah.
does things around the house there. You know, he's
Yeah.
happy to clean up. Because I do think in today's society and world that we're living in, you know, it has to be more 50-50 around the house because, you know, it used to be that the women weren't out working as much or, you know, doing all the things as well. And it was that that was the house and the man would go out and do the job. But I think it's so different now because like we're both working generally. You know, in our house, in your house,
Yeah.
you know, that's how it is. So it's great to try and share it out and have the blue jobs
And how good for
pink
the
jobs.
kids. Yeah, or whatever colour jobs you want to call them.
Yeah, whatever.
Because,
colour.
like, yeah, John does the laundry as well, and he's also does the shopping, like the little shop and stuff.
Oh, does he?
Well, he's obsessed with the packing of the bag and it not being like fridge bag or this bag,
Oh,
whereas
go
I just
on.
fire everything in. Plus, he doesn't mind going, and I hate it. So I feel like I do way more jobs in general, but he does a couple of big things, and taking care of the laundry and stuff is a big one.
It is. And like, it's great for us because then that is one thing that's off the mental load. That is one thing that's off
But
the
it
list.
has to be fully off the mental load because I think like there's no point in a partner saying like I'll do the bins, that's a blue job or whatever, but then saying like is it recycling day and you're going oh I don't know let me check. Like if you're taking the job, take the full job. And I've seen like that coming up a few times lately, like who's holding the cards. And if you're holding the bin card, you hold all of that card. Like you hold topping up the account, the days. You don't come to the other person and say, "Is it?" Like don't involve me. It sounds really
No,
strict,
no,
but
it
like I
doesn't.
think you have to be boundaried about it, or it creeps back into your mental load. And like the little shop, fantastic, amazing. He heads off, but he kept doing like what I would call a zombie shop, where he just like buys the same shit every week, and like we've four massive things of mayonnaise. I'm like, stop buying mayonnaise. Check before you go or whatever. So then he did this thing for a while where he would ring me like 8 times. We just checked there now. I forgot to check before I went out. Have we mayo? Or like, so I was like, stop. You know, if you're at the shop for a half an hour, 45 minutes, like that's time for me. So don't be ringing me about it. So anyway, we've sorted it out. We communicated.
Good.
And now, like, he has a list that he has typed out. And
Typed.
typed.
Excuse me.
Typed out. And a checkbox beside each thing. And a meal planner.
Oh God
So
help us.
there's zero waste, to be honest. It's deadly because we're not throwing out a rake of veg because we didn't use it because we didn't know what to cook. I know what I'm having for dinner every night of the week. It's easier for me to not have to think, what will I have tonight? Oh, God. You know, all the ingredients are there. Bam. And then when he does the shop, there's no more zombie.
No more zombie.
And I'm not.
And you're not getting frustrated.
I'm not getting frustrated. So when he comes home, I put away everything. So we have this little routine going now, but that wasn't overnight.
No.
You know, but I think it's actually deadly.
Yeah.
it's working well.
I think if you can get these little, small changes,
Small bits and
routines,
bobs. And it feels a bit more equal, doesn't it?
and then you can kind of have a bit of banter about it, and you can be like, do you know, it can be nicer, and it's
We
not
need
like,
banter.
why didn't you do this, or why didn't you do that, or I'm doing this, and
It's not all serious. Like,
No.
it can be so serious to be like work and then the baby and then the this and shopping needs to be done right. I must clean the house now. And it's like, where's the lightness in it? You just have to kind of find it,
I know,
bring it in.
yeah, and playfulness does bring the lightness,
Exactly. It's
Yeah.
all about that, really.
and then trying to still find the moments of the mess and where you do delight in each other again. I love that phrase.
Yeah. Delighting
the
in.
delighting
Yeah, I
in.
know. We all need that.
And it always comes back to me, and I just think there aren't, I don't know, am I not a nice person or something, but there aren't a huge amount of people in my life who I feel delight in me.
Oh, delight in you.
Yeah.
Okay. I thought you
Yeah.
were going,
No,
but
I
I'm
said
delighted.
delighted. No, that I feel that they love me, and I feel when I leave them that I'm filled up, like, and no matter what way I am, they're still delighting me.
Yeah.
And when you think about this, well, if you're the same as me, the small amount of people that you feel that with,
Yeah.
it's really important that you feel that with your partner,
Mm-hmm.
and
And
that
that you
they
give that.
feel that back.
Yeah.
And this actually reminds me of the love language test.
OMG. We talk about this a lot.
We have yet to do it, right?
Okay.
And I really think we need to, for this reason.
Yeah.
He shows me love in the way that he would like to receive it. And I'm not getting filthy now here now.
Touch.
No, it's like, so his is definitely words of affirmation.
Okay.
He loves that. And mine is more acts of service.
Okay.
So I probably give him love in the acts of service, but he's given me love in the words of affirmation.
Yeah.
So it's skewed.
It's
whereas
actually.
I should be giving him all the words because that's what he loves, and then I just want the cup of tea made for me without
asking. I know. Okay.
or the little chocolate thing got for me without me saying it, and like that sort of stuff. I'm just like, oh my god,
The
I love you so
thoughtfulness,
much.
yeah.
It's the thoughtfulness.
Yeah.
But we keep saying every time that we're going to go on a date or we have a few minutes that we'll do the love language test, but it's something definitely that we're going to do.
I've never actually done the test. Is it just like online?
Yeah, you can get it online, and it's just like you fill it out together, and then it tells you which ones. And like, be honest
deadly to
as
do
well,
that.
because like, don't, like, it's okay if you like getting presents. Like, it's okay if it's
Yeah,
gifts,
whatever.
and it's okay whatever you want. But then at least your partner knows. Okay, well then I need to be showing it in this way, and I'm actually showing it in the way that I want it.
Yeah, and then it's just more information, isn't it? But like, I've never done the test, but we would actually talk about that a lot. And I think I don't actually know what mine is. I don't know. Yeah, I need to have a little bit more of a think about it. But I know what John's is. It's touch.
Yeah,
And he like, you don't love him if you're not hugging him or whatever.
yeah.
Like he wants that, but I actually have been really touched out with breastfeeding and stuff, and
I
being
get
like
that,
a bit,
yeah.
so
And
that's an interesting one actually. And then he also would do, I don't know, yeah, because he would do the acts of service, but like, look how clean the kitchen is, and I'm like, yeah, but I want to talk to you, or like, you didn't listen to me there. So I kind of, I'm not as gone on the acts of service.
Are you not?
No.
Yeah, and it's for me. It's you know what, it's not just acts. It's like nurture.
Yeah, I
That,
think
like,
the thoughtfulness thing,
Yeah.
is that one of them?
I
I can't remember what
can't
they all
remember.
are.
There's like acts of service, there's gifts, there's
Words of affirmation.
words of affirmation, and then
Are we
there's
missing one?
there must be a physical.
There's definitely touches.
There's a
one.
touch is one, yeah.
Yeah.
And I would find that sometimes, if we're running around and we're doing the dinner and we're doing all these types of things, and then they're coming in for the hugs or whatever, and you're like, you're nearly pulling away,
Yeah.
and so, I just feel bad sometimes. I'm like, I should just like, let this hug happen. Like, you sometimes would with the child, but then you're like, okay, I'm running away. I've got
Hurry up.
15 million things to do. But yeah, I think it's a really good thing to think about and to note and maybe do the test if
Yeah.
you think you want to, or you
Yeah.
think it might be a bit of fun and you're at a place where it's not going to become an argument either.
Yeah, imagine. Oh my God. No. Something that's a bit of crack. And then I think what I really missed as well was we used to be great for watching something in the evening. And I can't remember the last time I turned on anything. Like, there's just no time.
No.
You haven't watched anything together in so long.
Yeah.
I really miss that because you'd kind of snuggle up and watch something and just chill out together. And that is a touch. Like, that's filling your cup, isn't it? It's kind of resetting and that closeness. But yeah, there's no time for that either. So there's an awful lot that kind of goes when baby appears.
Yeah, and when baby is small especially.
Yeah.
I remember we were going watching a replay back of a Mayo match. We hadn't been at it, and we said we'd watch it back. And we got to 10 seconds one night, and that was it. Then one of them was up and the other one was up and then that was it. Like, we didn't get to watch anything.
Yeah.
But now it's great. Sure, we're sitting down, we're watching everything.
Yeah,
We're
that's
watching,
steady,
you know,
yeah.
White Lotus is on at the
It will
moment,
come.
like loads of those different things, and it's such a lovely connective experience again to have it back.
And kind of relax. And
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, like, if you are struggling with different elements of your relationship, we hope that you feel seen and you feel that it's not just you, and we are all going through it in different ways. And
Yeah.
I don't know, I just think communication is key when you feel that you can try and talk about it.
Yeah.
Bring it up rather than bury it down.
Yes, and communicate. That doesn't mean it's easy. I think it's
No.
hard to even get the moment right. Like, or, you know, if you're tired and all that, it's hard. But finding the way that you can communicate that's clear. Maybe it is sending a message, or, you know, sometimes when there's no emotion in it, or like you said, naming I'm at a 20, I'm at a 0. Hey, like
Yeah.
whatever way to communicate, figure it, and trial and error all the way though.
Yeah, totally. And
Yeah.
there's no one size fits all either.
Mm-mm.
And I always think of that quote, you know, the unexpressed emotion will never die. It'll just come up later in uglier ways.
Yep.
And I think I would have been definitely a person for that, just like not saying how I felt and then stewing and then just being really upset, but him wouldn't know why.
And storming about a bit, but
Yeah,
they're like, "What's wrong with her?"
Flapping
Okay.
around, and he's like,
Yeah.
"You okay?" I'm fine. I'm totally fine.
Wow.
Yeah. Woo! You know.
Yeah, the high pitched fine.
Yeah, fine. Like Ross from Friends.
Yeah.
Totally. But yeah, we hope that you have enjoyed this episode and gotten some validation around your feelings and maybe a few things that might help you along the way.
Yes, thank you
Yeah.
for listening.
Yeah.
And as always, you can send us an email at isitjustuspod@gmail.com.
Thanks so much, guys. Have a good week.
See you next time. Bye bye.